Hello and welcome to Indian Standard Time. I am Akhilesh Suman and I have a very special guest for you. The guest will give you perspective of global affairs that are haunting the world now. And she is Katrina Kivi, the ambassador of Estonia to India. Why she is so special to India is that she is friendly to India, very friendly to India, and her country Estonia has assumed presidency of United Nations Security Council since May 1st this year. Welcome, Excellency, to Rajya Sabha Television.
Good afternoon. Welcome you and thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure and privilege to talk to you. Happy to answer to your questions and have an interaction. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Excellency. Excellency, your country has assumed the presidency of United Nations Security Council. That is the mightiest body in the world with all P5 nations inside and 10 other members. So how excited you feel about it? How different it makes for your country?
Yes, we are absolutely proud to take over this task for the month of May. As you know, we are member of Security Council as an elected member during the 2 years, but since 1st of May, it is Estonia's role to invite and organize all Security Council meetings, also to brief member states and try to find consensus over the most critical questions that are affecting our peace and security.
So, what are the priorities that you can tell to me that what are the priorities that Estonia is thinking that it should push forward in Security Council?
Our priorities were related to many new global threats, like, for example, raising awareness about cybersecurity, awareness of how important it is to pay attention to the resilience of our systems, because the cyber threats are having a direct impact to peace and security. It is not necessary today to invade a country by tanks or send nuclear bombs. It is enough to bomb virtually our critical infrastructure, to take our hospitals, critical state infrastructure in hostage. And this is why we have to discuss this issue as well. And we were already successful to have a first discussion ever in Security Council on cybersecurity in May. It went about cyber attacks against one member state of the United Nations, namely Georgia.
Okay.
But talking about other priorities, also the clear link between climate change and security, because the climate change as well will impact our well-being and security if we don't pay attention to what is going on with our environment and climate change.
Right.
Then Estonia, as a small state, was always keen on respecting international law and making it applicable online and offline, so in both virtual and physical world. And the same goes for our presidency in the Security Council. We try to point out how important it is to implement international law, also international humanitarian law, and especially in conflict-related zones. Yes?
That's really interesting. All these things that you are telling, it's really a very, relevant ideas that UN Security Council must be talking to and talking about. But, we are living in an age of coronavirus. And coronavirus is one issue that is threatening the whole world. So, and your country also tried to raise the issue of coronavirus before you assumed the presidency in United Nations Security Council. So, don't you think that your country will also try to push coronavirus issue in the Security Council?
Absolutely. We started to try to put it on the agenda of Security Council already in March, but we were not successful during the first weeks. And then finally, first time, we were able to have a discussion in the Security Council on 9th of April. At that time, no real conclusions came out, but it was a small first victory to unite all Security Council's member states and have a discussion, and finally with some press conclusions still. But currently, there are negotiations going on with a Franco-Tunisian resolution.
Right.
And we are not yet there to have consensus, but we are continuing at the highest level to push for consensus.
Right. So recently, your foreign minister talked to Indian Foreign Minister Mr. S. Jaishankar, and I hope that they must have talked about important issues that might be, discussed in United Nations Security Council. So, what were the issues that both foreign ministers discussed recently?
Yes, thank you for this question. Our ministers had a conversation a week ago, and there were mainly two topics. And the first one was, of course, the chairmanship, Estonian Presidency in the Security Council,
Right.
and trying to get Indian support and also participation in some high-level meetings which are open to all member states.
Okay.
And secondly, we had discussed, of course, the coronavirus measures taken, how to react to this challenge, and when it would be good time to have some exit strategy and think about working beyond crisis as well. And there we came to a bilateral cooperation between India and Estonia, and namely in digitalization, cybersecurity, and e-governance issues.
All right. So, did Mr. Jaishankar expressed his agreement on joining some of the meetings of United Nations Security Council?
We are still waiting for the confirmation, but there were mainly two very big events. The first one is happening already this week on 8th of May, where we all commemorate the end of the Second World War, because it was 75 years from the last World War, and it's time to think whether our security architecture today is up to date to avoid this kind of atrocities in the future. Second invitation, it was on the high-level meeting, the open debate on civilians in armed conflict, because we have still ongoing conflicts in Syria, for example, and member states should join forces in order to address this issue as well, because all the ongoing armed conflicts and humanitarian crises have also a clear link with COVID-19 pandemic. We have already enough tensions in Libya, enough problems in Syria, in the Middle East, and when we only add the coronavirus outbreak to these vulnerable and unstable regions, then it's clear that it has a direct impact on global peace and security as well.
On the issue of coronavirus, there are differences among various countries. One country is telling that it is a Chinese originated virus that has spread to the whole world. Someone is telling that it is lab generated. Someone is telling it is natural virus that has gone inside various countries. So, what is the Estonians' point of view?
So, as ambassador of Estonia to India, I'm reading, of course, the same articles and consuming the same news about coronavirus, the same speculations, the same articles what the scientists and scientists are thinking about it. I think we don't have yet the full picture and the full information. And this is why we need to push for transparent discussions in the Security Council, because we can only win the battle over the pandemic if we join our forces, only through multilateral cooperation.
Right. Some countries are asking for, investigation inside China about, generation of coronavirus. What your country thinks? Do you think that there should be investigation about the genesis of coronavirus?
I think we should unite our forces and push for multilateral cooperation also as a particular discussion, because we need joint efforts, and there the role of WHO is also crucial.
Right.
Estonia has made an additional contribution to support this organization, because it's even not only about coronavirus or the current version of COVID-19. We will certainly face other similar crises and pandemics in the future. And once we have found all necessary information, we can make conclusions how to tackle better the issue in the future, and how could be the most adequate global health response to crisis.
Like you are in favor of investigation inside China about coronavirus.
I think all Security Council member states should jointly work on the issue, and also China, but also United States, also Russia. We are all on the same boat and on the same side in front of the coronavirus.
So some teams should go, maybe multilateral teams should go in China and read about things and investigate about the issues related to coronavirus. That is what you mean?
I mean, the experts should continue their work, and we, as a Security Council presidency, we will ensure to keep all members on board and also brief other members of the United Nations. And there, I would say also, we cannot blame the organization as such not having found any solution so far. It's about member states. The member states are, the United Nations consists of member states, and the willingness of member states to cooperate. And the Secretary General has been very clear and outspoken on the issue. Unfortunately, not all big players are yet behind him.
Right, right. So, Excellency, you also talked about WHO, and WHO is also in question about uh, different tunes it sang at different times. Like in the beginning, WHO said that it is not transmitting from human to human. Then WHO said that travel ban is not necessary. But lately, all of us found that both the things were wrong. So there is an accusation against WHO also, that WHO is not transparent, and how WHO was coming on such conclusions is not clear. So do you think that WHO also needs some sort of reinvention inside itself so that all members are confident about WHO's functioning?
Yes, there also WHO is needs the information, transparent information from all its member states to be adequate and to give an up-to-date reaction and responses. And this is why we should increase cooperation inside of this organization as well. It is time to support it, because beyond the coronavirus, other health problems and diseases are all going on as well. And it is not definitely not time to weaken this organization. We need WHO also for the future.
Right. So, like, many countries are asking that WHO should be reformed in some sort of other. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also asked for reform in WHO. So, what is your opinion about it?
Yes, each and every organization should be eager to reform itself, and there Estonia and India are fully in the same boat.
All right. India and Estonia are considered to be very good friends, and you are supposed to be one of the technological giants, at least in computer software. You are considered to be, opinion leader, one of the opinion leaders. Some, media also tells you about that you are one of the best countries in e-governance. So how you got as country of not more than 14 lakhs of population, how it gets such type of specialization?
So already in the beginning of 90s, when Estonia has regained and restored its independence, we started to pay a lots of importance and also have started to invest in digitalization. And as we can see now, these decisions have really paid off as they are of vital importance also today. So our government was digital almost 90% before the corona crisis outbreak. Our governmental services are available online. The schools and universities were mostly in the cloud already a long time ago. So in that sense, we didn't face any big difficulties from day one, starting again more working from our homes and interacting without any problems with government bodies and institutions. We have been quite successful also in finding new cybersecurity solutions.
Right.
And in that sense, we have a really good cooperation with India. Last year, in August, when Honorable Vice President Venkaiah Naidu paid a visit to Estonia, we have been signing 3 MOUs between Estonia and India, and it's time to implement them now. It's about cooperation between Indian Computer Emergency Response Team, together with Ministry of Electronics, Information and Technology and Estonian counterparts. It's also about e-governance, not only between our respective state central governments, but we have MOUs even with some Indian states, like, for example, Telangana and Nagaland. And we are very happy to go forward now.
I also heard that Skype, that is, I think, one of the first, video conferencing tool that the world has got, was also invented in Estonia. Is it true that Skype was invented by Estonian engineers?
Yes, that is true. The first team started its work in Tallinn. There were, of course, some other nationals also, other engineers working in the same company, but it was really invented in Estonia, and then it had a real global success story, and this is why Microsoft took it over finally. But we have other very good unicorns as well, which are quite well known and used by many countries, like TransferWise, which allows send money to your relatives, your children all over the world without any problems and very quickly. We have also Bolt and Verif. Verif is, for example, a biometrical new type of technology for authentication.
Right.
So, and as you know, we have also almost all services on one single card, which allows us to vote on internet as well. Last parliamentary elections, over 44% Estonians were voting electronically already.
You are the first country in the world to allow electronic voting, I think.
Yes, since 2004 already.
Okay. And it is properly secured. There is no problem. There were no accusation, complaints against the electronic voting.
It is absolutely secure, and there were no incidents so far as of e-voting system, because it uses mainly the same technology if we have with internet banking, but still one more step further. Yes.
Okay. So, did you talk to India about the electronic voting pattern? Because India is the second largest population in the world, and India can also think to adopt such type of electronic voting system.
No, we haven't had talks concretely on electronic voting so far. But what we have been exchanging with Indian government on cyber hygiene, for example,
Oh,
because now during the crisis, not only individuals but also state authorities, their officials are working remotely from their home,
hmm.
and there the security settings and systems might not be as strong as in a headquarters.
Right.
And so companies are working in dispersed development, and it is a challenge to secure a good cyber hygiene. And as the Estonian best cyber company, Cybexa Technologies, has put online like a free of charge course that everybody can use. It is mycyberhygiene.com, a completely free of charge course how to check at home or in the office as well whether all your smartphones, computers, laptops are up to date. Because
Okay. That's
cyber criminals and fraudsters are using the current crisis to attack the most critical state infrastructure, also hospitals and healthcare institutions. And so we must really pay attention to it. Otherwise, there will be very, very big problems as of data security and data integrity.
right. Ambassador, your country, how your country is, doing in times of coronavirus? How big is pandemic in your country, and how you are fighting against it?
So currently we have over 1,700 cases,
All
but
right.
during the last 2 weeks, the curves has been really already going down. We had the day before yesterday only one new victim, one death. So all in all, 55 people have died in Estonia. It reached us like any other country through traveling and
Right. So you have stopped, allowing any traveler from outside.
yes, we have declared emergency situation end of March, first of all until 1st of May, but now we have prolonged the emergency situation still until 17th May, but with few relaxations already.
Oh, like
But
India, like India.
like India, but we
Right.
also have had all the same rules like social distancing and staying home. Not obligatorily wearing mask, but still it was a good, strong suggestion to wear mask as well.
Your country is very beautiful, as I was seeing. So, how will it impact the travel industry of your country, the coronavirus situation?
I think the tourist sector is one of the sectors that will have a huge traumatism, if I may say
All
so.
right.
But all economies in all countries, the next day of the lockdown, the world will not definitely look exactly the same.
All right.
But we should be prepared for it to have some some maybe new understanding of how to manage the multilateral cooperation, the commercial exchange also in the future, because I don't think that being inward looking and closing the border for the rest of the time for foreign investments or for tourism would be a solution. Of course, we must be very careful until we don't yet have the vaccine or an adequate treatment against corona. But small step by step, when we are coming out from the crisis, we should reach out to our usual good partners and continue trading also physically, not only
Right.
electronically and digitally.
So, before Corona, was your country, welcome to immigrants, or it was almost, country closed inside? What was the situation about immigration in your country?
Estonia is part of the Schengen system in the European Union. It means
And,
our among Schengen countries, it was a visa-free travel. With India, of course, we have visa issues, but it's maybe not interesting to talk about how to apply for visas. One
oh,
very interesting thing is what we have is an e-residency. Means if an Indian businessmen want to do some business with Estonia, they can apply for e-residency status.
right.
It is not giving you a nationality or a visa automatically, but it enables you to access the same digital services online like any other Estonian citizen or businessman is using. And it allows to establish a company in Estonia and start trading, paying bills, taxes, and also open a bank account. And if you have a solid business interest with Estonia, you can of course get a visa to visit Estonia as well. You are welcome to come and see our country. It's a small but very beautiful country.
Like students, professionals, are they going to Estonia, or it is very limited?
We have around 200 Indian students, if I'm not wrong. I think it is 3.8% of overall international students.
Okay.
And we have more than 700 companies already established by Indian e-residents,
Right.
residences in Estonia. And we have all in all over 7,000 Indian e-residents in Estonia, and among the most famous also Mukesh Ambani from
Right.
Reliance Industries. Yes,
He a resident of Estonia.
exactly.
Oh, that's very good. So thank you so much, Excellency, for talking to Rajya Sabha Television. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. Thank you. Have a
Thank
good
you
day.
so much.